Running back, man. Oof. Barkley against Cincinnati. I'm such a moron for not just heavy boosting him. And like, I'm not a narrative guy, but that spot was just so obvious against the Giants, Ben. It was so obvious.
Oh yeah. Well, I had shout out to my Tails Discord. Had a guy in there who laddered him. And although it didn't really work, the reasoning and the logic was very sound.
How did the ladder not work?
Touchdown ladder?
Oh, we laddered. I would have laddered yards.
Yeah, he laddered touchdowns.
The
And
reasoning was definitely sound. Dude, the yards ladder would have absolutely annihilated.
absolutely not. No, he laddered touchdowns and he could have had 3 touchdowns
Yep.
easily.
Well, that's the problem with laddering Barkley touchdowns, though, is that
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is there, you
Yep.
know? But either way, he was on it. He was there. He was right over the target. But Barkley against Cincinnati, this guy every game is breaking off a 60-yard run. Like, he's out of control, man. He's so good. He is so good. You have Kenneth Walker against Buffalo. I'd love to play him. I think that salary is a bit prohibitive. Here's the thing. It's a 2-horse race for me up top. I would love nothing more than to play Breece Hall right now. I would love nothing more. But I can't do it right now at that price. Maybe you'll convince me otherwise. I'm excited to hear where you're going. But for me, it's Barkley and it's Joe Mixon. They
Yeah.
just want to feed Joe Mixon, and he's got the Colts. How do I get away from that?
Not gonna get away from them. I totally get it. Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry. I totally get that, but more often than not on full slates, I don't get to Derrick Henry just because it's very difficult. You need to run for like 200 yards and he can do that. But if you really think that, just ladder his yards and make yourself a bunch of money in the betting markets. I'm okay with Breece Hall. I'm going to just stick with this.
I knew it. That's why we haven't talked. I had a feeling.
Yeah.
You'd go back to the well with Breece here. Let's hear it.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Maybe it's not a sign of things to come, but I kind of believe that it is. He has 15 targets in the last 2 games. It seems like this is a more optimal use of his time. He's got 30 carries over the last 2 games. He's got 2 really good outputs over the last 2 games. That's what I'm talking about. This whole Braylon Allen situation, I think for a while there, it was kind of touch and go. I think that has been extinguished. Maybe you disagree, but that Braylon Allen's not doing anything. He's an afterthought.
That's fair. Yeah,
Like I thought he might take over the backfield into a real timeshare only a couple weeks ago, and now Breece Hall is back firmly in control.
You are seeing the trajectories move in different directions with these guys. Like the last 2 weeks, Breece has played 87 and 82% of snaps. Braylon Allen's played 19 and 9% of snaps.
And it coincides with the coaching change.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like I said, Breece Hall was on my list, Ben. I had 4 guys on the list. Henry was not one of them. So be it. I still like that Cleveland defense. When you're paying that much, I just think there's other really good matchups up there. Yeah, I get, and Tank Bigsby just carved up that New England defense. Gerard Mayo is not getting the most out of him. Bill Belichick basically said that in so many words the other day. All right, that's fair enough. I'm still going Joe Mixon up top for the time being. They're struggling to throw the football right now, and Joe Mixon is just he's getting a true workhorse type of workload. And coming back from injury, I don't really care. I care what happened last week. And Joe Mixon, dominated backfield touches, truly.
Yeah, I'll go Breece Hall, but not going to push back on that.
All right. Any interest in Barkley or Kenneth Walker?
Barkley, yeah. Kenneth Walker, I don't want to say no interest, but I don't love that price point.
Me neither. It's a decent matchup against that Buffalo run defense, but he's expensive. He really is. You can't go to Alvin Kamara right now. He's basically untouchable. I don't want to do it. Do you?
No, they're not a real team. They're
not. Gibbs is expensive. Jonathan Taylor, even if he returns, that offense is so dysfunctional. Get Flacco back in there. What about Bijan against Tampa?
Bijan's been awesome the last couple of weeks. We're starting to see it. 21 carries. Derrick Henry notwithstanding, I always kind of respect the Tampa front. So I don't love it. Honestly, I think you could almost look to Dobbins as a bounce back spot. Sub 7K, obviously 69. And then you got Kareem Hunt, I'm sure will be a focal point of the discussion.
Jake DeWitt, Laffy, thoughts on Rachaad White maybe lining up in the slot more often with massive pass catching upside? Yeah, you know what? You could absolutely be on to something there. That's not now, to be fair, I think Bucky Irving would get some work there as well. But Rachaad White, 57. Wish he was a little bit cheaper after that last game. Not yesterday, but the last game before pricing came out. Could be. Definitely could be. I don't think you're insane. Plus, it's a rough position down there. Here's the wrinkle in all of that. The mid range is loaded this week. It's loaded at running back. I mean, J.K. Dobbins against the Saints defense that truly can't stop the run. Like, they made Javonte Williams look like he was one of the best in the league after he was about to lose his job. J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt against the Raiders.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift has been great. He's got Washington. And you know what? Javonte, I think he'll be popular, but in that spot, how do you not like Javonte Williams? And I'll even throw one more at you, man. Devon Achane, $6,200 with Tua returning. That's too cheap of a price point on him.
You could pepper that range, 2 or 3 in the lineups. I'm just going to go DeAndre Swift just because. I'll leave Kareem Hunt for you if you want to take him. All these guys make sense. I alluded that I like to pick on Washington's defense. We didn't get to see Carolina do that because they were down by like 40 points immediately. I think that DeAndre Swift is just going to continuously have a really solid role.
I'm with you. They're using him much, much better recently too, than they were previously. Like, he has a specific type of skill set. Kareem, it's crazy that neither of us are going Kareem Hunt here, but he should be Kareem Hunt's fantastic in this spot. I'm going right back to J.K. Dobbins. Put up a huge dud yesterday in Arizona. They didn't run as much as you would have thought. They're home against the Saints, Ben. And the Saints are the wheels have fallen off that team. I don't even care if Derek Carr and Chris Olave play at this point. I truly don't. This offense, they're that bad.
They're the worst team in the league right now.
You think they're worse than Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carolina's absolutely horrendous, but yeah.
They're bad, but the Chargers defense, even with the injuries, even without Bosa, this defense is allowing 14 points per game. Best in the league. They held Mahomes to 17 too. Like, there's a good defense. Do I think it's a little bit noisy because they haven't faced great teams? Sure. But J.K. Dobbins, this could be the massive, massive workload game for J.K. Dobbins. And whereas they were using Vidal a lot on third downs, I think you just see a ton of Dobbins all game. I'm going right back to the well at 6,900. He might be my favorite play on the slate given the price point.
I like him a lot too. Again, no pushback there. Like I said, I went with Swift, but you could play a bunch of these guys, and I will. I will have lineups that have 2 or 3 6K running backs.
Me too. Yeah, I think if you wanted to forego the top tier because you needed to open some things up and you ended up with Dobbins and Hunt or Swift or Achane or Williams, you're not going to be upset about that at all.
Nope.
That's actually why I think Barkley, my guess is I just have very little Barkley because as good as he is, it's going to be really tough to get there when you have all of this mid-range value.
And we've seen that on a lot of slates. Like, it's all about opportunity cost. If he has 40, it's different. But if Barkley has 27, 28, 20, you're like, wow, really nice game. Well, if all these guys have 22, you objectively would rather have them.
Exactly. I think at the bottom tier, given what we saw last night, I think it has to be Rachaad White for me. What Jake was, Jake alluded to, but not just that, the fact that they're out of options. Rachaad White, I don't know where they're going to line him up, but I think you're just going to see a lot more Rachaad White in the passing game regardless. He's a great pass catching back. He might be the only option they have right now that they can really rely on. K. Dotton had to have had 15 concussions after that game, by the way.
I didn't see the game. I I woke
Neither
up to
did
like
he.
five tweets all saying the same thing. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna go Rashad White too, but I want to make it clear I really plan to not get to this range.
Neither do I, but we have to go someone. And I think Rashad White's literally the only guy down there.
Yeah,
You see anyone else?
no, I really don't.